Hello and welcome back to Reeltv. I am Connor Smith.
And I'm Kyle Wexler.
And today we will be doing a movie review of The Amazing Spider-Man 2, which both of us saw earlier this weekend.
Yes.
I liked it. I do have a couple little problems with it, but overall, I thought it was a really good follow-up to a decent reboot of an incredible franchise.
Absolutely. There were definitely bugs in it. You know, no pun intended, but there are definitely bugs in it. But it definitely was an enjoyable movie that you could take the whole family to see.
Well, there is that one part,
well,
but we won't spoil it. But how do you feel about the Raimi ones? Let's just establish this, the Sam Raimi trilogy.
I'm very biased because those are my favorite movies of all time. The first and second ones are two of my favorite movies ever, so I don't think that anything can live up to that. So I think I was a little biased in watching this and saying, you know, that's not the same way they did it in the Sam Raimi films. That's not how Tobey Maguire swung his webs.
Yeah, so. I agree with that. I am also very partial because I remember going to Blockbuster with my dad and we rented the original Spider-Man and I was scared the first time I watched it. And I remember going to see Spider-Man 2 in theaters and I remember loving it and walking out of the theater absolutely in awe with the story and the visual effects and the reveals like Mary Jane finds out and James Franco finds out. And I just think Spider-Man 2 to me is the best Spider-Man movie. It is everything I want. I would say after Batman and Batman Returns, Spider-Man 2 is my favorite superhero movie of all time.
Yeah.
So it's like a good third place. But with this one, a lot of people say that it's really overstuffed and it's really like too many villains, too many subplots, too many characters. I really didn't think that. I like Spider-Man 3. And a lot of people say that Spider-Man 3 is overstuffed. That one has Venom and New Goblin, Green Goblin 2, whatever Harry's. He wasn't Hobgoblin, but... And then Venom. So a lot of Sandman. What did I say? Yeah.
Venom before.
Yeah. So, but this one has Electro, played by Jamie Foxx. It has Harry Osborn, and I forget the actor's name, but
Dave Nahan.
Dave Nahan. Yeah, he's great in this. He steals it. And then the third villain was Rhino, he plays a very minor role, played by Paul Giamatti.
Right.
But let's not even talk about the villains here. The real stars of this movie are Emma Stone and Andrew Garfield. They make this movie for me. Their chemistry is impeccable. I think the best scenes in the film are the ones where they're together, having conversations, talking to each other. And if there's one thing I like more about these remakes than the Sam Raimi ones, I think that Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone have their relationship, they bring that to another level that Tobey Maguire and Kristen Dunst never had.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. I definitely agree. And they had great chemistry together. I didn't see the heart in the film. Just besides, they had some great scenes together, and I just didn't see overall. There was always in the Sam Raimi films such a great heart at the center of it, and it felt like it was something that you could watch and afterwards you'd stand up and cheer. And I just didn't get that same feeling after this movie.
This one, I'm not going to spoil it, but this one is a lot different than the Sam Raimi ones. At least with me, I felt very, very, very emotionally connected with these characters, so that when something does happen in the film, I was very, very, very emotional. I think that this film is poignant in ways that the original Sam Raimi films weren't.
Right.
In that this one isn't heartfelt as much. I don't know. I'm like dancing around the invisible thing here because most people probably know what happens. It was spoiled like 6 months ago before they even put the trailer out. But I think the film really, I think that scene is really almost what made it for me. That last battle scene with Goblin and I don't know. It did waste a lot of time on like setting up these villains that I almost wish that they had spent more time on their relationship.
Right.
But in the overall movie, I think they spent a good amount of time on their relationship, and that was what made the movie for me.
A thing for me that was missing, though, was the classic Spider-Man in the comics and in the movies. He always has problems that normal people have in every day. It's like he'll have a problem like he won't be able to pay his rent, or he'll be failing out of school, and things that you and I can relate to, where it's like almost like if we get bitten by a spider, we could be Spider-Man.
That's like Spider-Man 2.
Rent! Exactly.
Rent, pay your rent!
And they didn't have that. It's almost like things were too good for Spider-Man and too good, and Emma Stone loved him, and there was no love triangle or nothing stopping them, and I really think that they
maybe that's why the thing that you we're talking about happens.
Right.
So I don't know. I just think the emotional core of this one is almost stronger than the Sam Raimi ones. I think the Sam Raimi ones are funnier.
Yeah.
They have better villains.
Absolutely.
They have better performances overall from the villains.
Definitely.
Tobey Maguire was a great Spider-Man. I think that Andrew Garfield gets the like playful side of it, but I think that Andrew Garfield gets the hero,
right?
Or Tobey Maguire is the hero aspect of it, while Andrew Garfield gets the teenage boy aspect of it. I think that they both have their strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
But I did like the film. I thought the action was pretty good.
Yeah.
The Times Square battle was cool.
Right. Absolutely.
The rhino chases were cool.
Definitely.
That and the battle, the climactic battle that we're talking about, I was shaking. I was actually like, intensely like I was very like it's very suspenseful. It's a really really like more so than like Avengers or Captain America because you know everything's going to work out in the end in those types of movies. You all know superhero. You all know the Avengers are going to save the day in the end. You all know Captain America is going to save the day in the end. So I that was why I almost like this film more than a lot of recent superhero movies because it kept me on the edge of my seat. And it surprised me. And a lot of superhero movies haven't done that in a while for me.
And Spider-Man was, in the comics, the first ever superhero not to save the day in one of the comics. And in one of the comics that we were talking about, with in Gwen Stacy in the comics, she dies. And that was really shocking to everyone. And so that so that was really shocking. And so like you don't know if she ever saves the day. That's really what I love about this.
And you know what? One more quick thing. The thing I love about Gwen Stacy in these movies more than Mary Jane is Mary Jane was such a damsel in distress.
Yeah.
She had, you are who you choose to be, now choose. Like, and then she got captured in the second one, and then she got captured in the third one. Like, the villain's like she's always the damsel in distress. But with this one, Gwen Stacy is the one who comes behind the villain and smacks him in the head, and she's there to save the day with him.
Yeah, she helps him
puts
figure
herself
out how
front
to
and
save
center
the
in the
day.
danger.
And with the webs and with redesigning his webs, she figures that out too. It's really cool.
She's definitely pretty helpful.
Very nice.
But I liked it. Kyle liked it. Go see it. It's definitely has a couple of surprises.